Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in Wilmington, North Carolina, visiting Parkway Hyundai, and I'm checking out a 2024 Hyundai Santa Fe front-wheel drive in the limited trim level. This vehicle is sitting on 255/45 Pirelli tires wrapped around 20-inch alloy wheels with a gloss gray finish. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors in the front and solid rotors in the back. The name of this color is Earthy Brass Matte. So it's a matte finish, brass color, and I guess it's like a darker brass color, sort of like that's where they're getting the earthy brass. But the sun's shining right now, so hopefully get an idea of what this color looks like. It's pretty interesting. You know, at first glance you might think it's a brown, but the brass really does reveal itself when you see it in the light, and it has a little metal flake in there as well. So looking at the front of the vehicle, pretty interesting. Very square, emphasizing the width and the height of the vehicle here. And it has the active grille shutters that are right in this area, will open up when it needs cooling. So even though it's kind of blunt looking right now, that does open up. This is always open down here. And then you have this kind of grill here, but it's not really a grill because it's not open. But it has this design and some lights that connect here. Hopefully I'll be able to do a night video as well. Parking sensors across the front. You can see them located in this black portion. There's some integrated here as well. There's also a front camera, which is in a very center position, very good position, very center, integrated into the vehicle. Did a good job with that. Now the headlights are a projector LED system for your low and your high beams, separate headlights for each. And like I said, hopefully I'll be able to do a night video on this vehicle soon, so we can see how they perform on dark roads at nighttime. Looking at the profile, you can see that black portion that we saw there in the front extends around each wheel well, down across the base of each door, when the doors go all the way to the bottom of the vehicle as well. There's also this metallic strip here as well. It goes there all the way from the front to the back, emphasizing length. So we have emphasis there on the width, the height, and the length. Now it does have body colored handles, upper portion of the side mirrors. The pillars are a gloss black, solidifying all those pieces of glass there. And if you tint this glass, it'll kind of complete that whole set. Even the front pillars are a gloss black. So, you know, once again, the length is emphasized here as well. Then there's the gloss black roof rails, and pretty interesting design. This is what the key looks like, and it's very rounded and lightweight, easy to carry around with you. And it's a full proximity system, so you just keep this with you and you can use the vehicle 100%. It does have some very useful buttons though: lock, unlock, remote start, and a panic button here. So let's go ahead and remote start it, because there's another feature. Hit the lock button, hold the remote start button, the vehicle starts. Now here on the edge, there's a few buttons. So there is a park in, park out, and then the ability to open up the power liftgate here. So when the vehicle's started now, if we need to move the vehicle forward and back for whatever reason, when the vehicle's running like this, we don't have to be in the vehicle. We can go forward and back using these buttons. So if I press and hold this front button here, right here, the first thing it's going to do is going to straighten up those front wheels. Straightens out the front wheels. Then it starts moving forward very slowly. As soon as I let go of that button, it stops. Also, if it senses something with the parking sensors, like say if I get too close to that vehicle, it will also stop. Now, if I want to go reverse, I press and hold the reverse button, and now I can make it go backwards. I do have to be pretty close to the vehicle though, and it will back up. And like I said, when it gets close to something, the parking sensors will stop it, or as soon as I let go of the button, it'll stop. But straightening up the wheels is very important. And then of course, you know, the parking sensors around the vehicle helps out with, you know, not hitting anything. So if somebody parks really close to you or something like that, and you need to get out of your parking spot, this is a really useful feature to have. But as long as you have the key with you, it could be in a pocket, in a bag, as long as it's on the outside of either the driver and passenger front doors. There's a button right here. It's not actually a button, it's just a sensor here. And you put your hand or your finger over it and it'll lock the doors. To unlock it, you simply put your hand behind the handle here, and there's a sensor on the back of the handle, It senses the key position on the outside of the door, senses your hand position, and allows you access to the vehicle, unlocks. There's also a physical key location here. If you take this cover off, this vehicle comes with a separate physical key. It's not inside this key fob. It's a separate key that comes with the vehicle. The doors go all the way down to the bottom of the vehicle, and it covers up the threshold, keeping it clean. Here's the inside of the passenger side door. Now it has like this wood grain right in here, and then it has the metallic accents here. It's kind of like a brushed aluminum look, looking really nice. And it goes along with the handle nicely. Now this upper portion is soft touch. This portion right here is very soft. It's like a vinyl type material here. This is hard touch. This is soft, all vinyl type material. This is enclosed. You can utilize that as like a little pocket if you wanted to. And it's kind of thin, but you can put some stuff in there, cell phone or whatever. And if you put a coin or something in there, it's really easy to just take it and slide it over here to this part to get it out. So even though it's actually pretty big, if you feel in there, it's quite a bit larger than what it looks. Then there's the larger compartment here at the bottom, and there's a reflector there in the door as well. It has the premium Bose sound system, kind of interesting looking speaker grill. We have these little pixel designs here in the threshold on the sill plate. Power seat here on the passenger side. Goes up, down, tilt, forward and back, all those different functionality. That's pretty good for a passenger seat. So these are leather seats, and they don't have any kind of contrast stitching, but they do have the perforations there in the center part, and then we have more of that kind of pixel designs embossed into the back portion. But so far, very comfortable seats. Also, though, included this cloth material right where the seat meets up with this hard plastic. They kind of keep the make it last longer, basically. Very good to see that. There's the floorboard. Now the floor mat's not in place, but it will snap in place there, or hook in place, and pretty good amount of legroom. There's also this huge compartment that the driver and the passenger can share. It also has a 12-volt power supply in there as well. And there's a glove compartment here. This is a hard touch surface. Pretty interesting latch for the glove compartment. You just pull down on it like so. It's supposed to be like soft landing, but it's not like super soft, but it does move it down. So yeah, it's kind of interesting, this little handle right here. Then there's a smooth plastic on the inside. There's also this really cool little shelf, and it has a rubber floor in there. So if you put something in there, it's not going to slide back and forth. It's a really handy shelf. It goes all the way from there all the way here, and it's pretty good size. You can put cell phone or whatever you want to quickly set down when you get in the vehicle. We have more of that kind of like brushed aluminum, and check out the little accent lights in there as well. And then there's an additional storage space. Press this button over here, and then this lifts up, and then you have another shelf. This one's enclosed, and then this has the rubber floor and everything as well. But yeah, that's pretty cool. And this is like a soft touch material, so like a vinyl type material. And then the dash is kind of rubbery soft, non-reflective, with some simulated stitching there as well. It has this little place right here so you can set something down. It's kind of interesting. Two sunroofs. Well, one glass roof there in the back, and then this one here in the front can tilt and everything, but yeah, that's pretty neat. There's shades for both of them as well. The opening in the front door and the swing of the door is really nice. So getting in and out of this vehicle, the height of the seat is great. You can just basically get right in and get out easy. Very, very easy to get in and out. Same thing here with the back. Actually, it could be a little bit better because you have so much headroom here. And the swing of the door is nice. The size of the opening is just incredible. The only limitation will be right in here. Other than that, it's wide open space. The back door does have a shade, which we can retract, and the privacy glass, of course. And then we still have the wood grain back here, that brushed aluminum look, accent. Cup holders here on the front, right where your hand would be, perfect. 3-stage heated seats back here. And once again, we have the soft touch materials, just like the front. And then the pocket there at the bottom. We even have some more speakers back here. Now the back seats, right now it's kind of like a bench seat. So, but it does move separate. So it's a 60-40 split. So you can have one seat up, one seat down. You can see that one is tilted, so you can see the reclining portion there. There's also an armrest with cup holders. Move that out of the way if we would like. And the car seat attachments kind of deep in there, but you can get to them right in there. I can feel them. They're right there. And check out this floor. Almost flat floor. Has a little hump there in the middle. Tiny hump, not much to it. But the back of the seats have these bag holders, which is very handy on back of both of them. There's also a compartment there, like a little map pocket, like so. You can open it up, clean it, get everything out. It's much easier. You can actually see in there, unlike some vehicles. There's also USB ports here on the sides of the seat. And then right in here, this is kind of interesting. It has a, I don't know if you can see this, has this drawer. So we can slide this out, and it has like a junk drawer back here. And put some stuff. You can also access the compartment back here as well, this center armrest compartment. And it has like a little quick access place to put pens or whatever, and then you can access the larger compartment there. So this compartment can be accessed from the back or the front. Big glass roof back here. So the way these seats work is you use this handle to recline the seats. There's also use this handle to fold the seats down as well. And they lock in place once you put them all the way down. You can see that the seat goes down as well. So it could give you a really flat cargo floor when you start folding seats down. It's really good. But if you need to access the third row, you press this button and it kind of spoons the seat up to the front seat like so. And then we can kind of climb in here and access the third row. So the third row actually has car seat attachments on both sides, which is nice. Some vehicles only have like one or none in the third row, which is kind of interesting. Then there's cup holders, USB ports. There's rear air conditioning controls here, power inverter. A lot of cool features back here. And the seat has, you know, two positions, and it's a 50-50 split, so you can fold them down. Add to your cargo space here in the third row or the second row while still maintaining passenger space. So yeah, these seats are all the way back on this side, and the legroom is actually pretty darn good. So yeah, pretty impressed with what they've done with a vehicle this size as far as interior space. And if you're sitting in the third row, and you definitely want to get familiar with this button, because that's where you can make the seat go forward when you're sitting in the third row. So looking at the back of the vehicle, here at the top it has a gloss black shark fin antenna. The third brake light is here at the top of the glass in the rear spoiler. And you can see that the glass kind of wrap around. This is actually a pillar right here, but it kind of helps blend in that glass right there to wrap around the vehicle nicely. So it has the Santa Fe name, and then it has the backup camera in the very center, which is great. It's in a low position, not that low, but it's kind of in the center. It's in the very center of the vehicle this way, and I think it could be a little bit higher, but the fact that it's in the center and it's integrated into the vehicle makes me very, very happy. Some vehicles have them like way offset over here down next to the tag, and it looks tacked on like an aftermarket feature. But this one looks pretty good. Parking sensors back here, and you notice that the taillights are kind of in this low position, and the reverse lights are down here. These are reflectors right in here next to the parking sensors. There's a single exhaust tip. Looks pretty cool. So lifting up the power liftgate, this one has the ability to use the key by pushing the button. You can also, there's a setting where you can just set it to where you just stand here, it senses the key, and after a few seconds it'll open up. Or you can press the button here and open it up that way. You can see that pixel design here on the underside of the lift gate. And check it out. This is the amount of space you have when all the seats are occupied with passengers. You have this little space back here, really. There's a 12-volt power supply. There's a place for net pocket back here. There's a subwoofer. There's tie downs here. You have the ability to flip down the second row by using these buttons here. Then you can see the third row options there. The power inverter, rear climate control, USB ports, all that stuff. Now, there's additional space under here. So you can lift this up. You'll see your tools for your spare tire, which are located under the vehicle. And then the additional storage space on this side. So a little bit of extra space here is nice. Now to lower the spare tire, underneath these tools is this little access hole right here that you can take out. Yeah, unscrew it, and then there's a bolt there, and you use the tools to lower the spare tire. So I like that has this, everything contained in this styrofoam piece. You can easily, move it, get out of the way, that kind of thing. Okay, so folding these seats down, you see they're kind of limited on cargo space, but if we don't have so many passengers, we can start folding seats down. And when we do that, here's the third row. Go ahead and flip the headrest down first. There we go. So now you can see we've added a lot of extra space here for cargo just by folding one seat down. So we can have a car seat on the other side or a passenger there and still have this additional space. Now we can fold the second row seats down. Remember these buttons here. Let's go ahead and press that button. See, it flips down. And look how it's like almost completely flat. So we can add to our cargo space while still maintaining passenger space, or we can flip everything down and have a huge wide open space back here. It really is impressive how much room you have back here. And it's almost completely flat, which is excellent. You can put a mattress back here and live in this vehicle. Pretty interesting. Even have a glass roof. To lower the power liftgate, there's two buttons. One to just simply lower it. The other one is to lower it, then lock the vehicle. So if you're finished getting your groceries out, you just want to walk away, close the latch here, walk away, and the vehicle locks. You can push that button. Fuel door is here on the driver's side, and it locks with the vehicle. So when the vehicle's locked, it's locked. Hit the unlock button, vehicle's unlocked, now the fuel door is unlocked. So we can open it up. It has your traditional cap, tether, and a little place to hang the cap on the inside of the door while you're pumping gas. As long as the key's inside the vehicle, you just press and hold the brake and press this button to start it up. There's also a fingerprint reader right in here as well if you want to start the vehicle using your fingerprint. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. I know it's dirty, but the floor mat is not in place, but it does hook in place in two places instead of just one like the passenger side, keeping it straight and keeping it from sliding around on you. There's the accelerator, brake pedal, and footrest here. Nice big footrest, I like that. Let's take a look under the hood. You can see now the active grille shutters are open. It actually does have the active grille shutters at the bottom. They're just kind of hidden, but these are more visible. This kind of changes the look of the vehicle when they're open and closed. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up the hood here. Now, the latch is a little bit to the right of center. So right here to the right of this emblem, you just reach in and move it to the left, and then you lift up. You can see what you're doing right there. But it holds itself up. That's nice. Has the insulation under the hood. There's lots of insulation on the firewall as well. The front suspension towers are braced together. You can see they're kind of hidden behind this insulation, but that is directly connected from one side to the other, solidifying the front end. The battery has some insulation and it's easy to get to, 12-volt battery. Also have some fuse box over here, once again easy to get to. And the motor is down, it's like it's not sticking up real high. It gives that lower center of gravity. And there's a front wheel drive vehicle. You can see the orientation of the vehicle or the engine is this way. So there's the front of the engine, there's the back of the engine, and the transmission's located down here. This one also has a turbocharger right here, and you can see the heat shielding there as well, and there's some heat shielding there on the firewall, and that might help. That might be why the firewall is so heavily insulated as well, to keep some of that heat from going into the cabin there. The blind spot indicator system has the little light that's there on the side mirror, so it'll illuminate when there's a vehicle in your blind spot. Now the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. So right in here, you can see there's 2 presets for the power seat, the ability to lock the windows here, power windows. The front 2 are 1 touch up and down, so we can press it. These are laminated glass and go up and down quite fast actually. The back glass here is, you do have to hold it, but it does go all the way down. Some vehicles, you know, stop halfway or whatever, but this one goes all the way up and down. And then the door lock controls here, side mirrors are adjusted here. You just pick a side, use that little pad, and the button here in the very center is to power fold the side mirrors. You can also, there's a setting to where if you want, when you lock the vehicle, it'll power fold the side mirrors as well. So the driver's seat has the same controls, except for it has, as the passenger seat, except for it has the 4-way lumbar adjustment added, because the driver's seat always has to one-up the passenger seat usually. To the left of the steering column, there's the electronic parking brake, dimmer switch for the interior gauges. And then there's the ability to open up the power lift gate, and then the traction control off button. Default will be on, but if you need to spin tires, you can turn it off there. And then there is a tilt and telescoping steering column. And then you can lock it in place here. It does have paddle shifters, kind of interesting. There's also this little guy right here. It's a camera and our infrared illuminator. Basically, it shines in your face and makes sure you're paying attention to the road for, you know, future hands-free systems, basically. I'm sitting in the driver's seat, and I have the driver's seat all the way back, all the way down, and I'm 6 feet tall to give you an idea of the potential legroom here. And it is pretty good. This right here is open enough to where my knee kind of goes in there. Here on the left side, plenty of room. I would probably have to pull it up just slightly in order to, you know, touch the pedals. I could drive like this, but be a little bit more comfortable to pull it up slightly. So if you're a little bit over 6 feet, you shouldn't have any problem. Steering wheel is really comfortable. It's a heated steering wheel, soft to the touch. It's not overly hard. It's rounded. It's not really sharp like some Hyundais have like some sharp edges and stuff. This one is nice, really nice. It's very relatively simple, but it works really good. I like this, the style and functionality. This is thin, so it doesn't get in the way, but this part right here kind of gets in the way a little bit. With the other steering wheel, sometimes I like to hold it in the center, but now I have to go like that. But it actually is pretty comfortable like that. It does have the pedal shifters there on the back. Here on the right side is the volume for the radio, voice recognition, change to the different audio sources here, change to the different tracks up and down. This button is, you can set it up and customize it to do basically whatever you want. And then there's the phone button that will answer or hang up. So if you're in a call, you can hang up, or if you're not in a call and somebody's calling you, you press it to answer. Here on the left side is the cruise control. You turn it on here. And I like the way that button, you just press it one time and it automatically turns it on and sets it at the same time. And then you can change through the speeds here, also pause and resume with that center part. You just press in to resume. And then you have the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you, and then the lane keep assist system is here. So you can turn that on, and as long as the little steering wheel turns green as you're driving, it'll help you keep the vehicle in the lane using the steering wheel. There's also this little pages button and the little scroll wheel right here. We'll get to that in just a minute. Wiper, there's a little secret I've been keeping from you. It has the automatic function, that's not the secret, on the front, so the rain sensing wipers. But here in the back, it actually has a rear wiper. So you didn't see one back there, did you? But if I turn it on, you can see it is, go ahead and turn it on here. It swings down from the visor is hidden. It's hidden up there in that rear spoiler. So when you use it, it swings down. Really handy, especially when there's snow or whatever on the rear glass and ice. It swings down, it pushes down. Really, really cool. All right, so the turn signals here also has the headlight switch off, automatic, and it shows you right here what's going on. Parking, and then headlights here. It also has automatic high beams as well. So the gauges are very simple. Now this is in simple mode, and I'll show you how you can change the different modes, but digital speedometer, digital tachometer, fuel gauge, engine coolant temperature there, outside temperature, and what gear you're in, that kind of stuff. And it has additional information there in the center, which these buttons right here control. So this little pages button, a scroll wheel, and then you press in on this button. So if I hit the pages button, you can see there's 3 options, 1, 2, and 3. There on the first one, you can scroll up and down and get additional information, like so. The second one will show additional information when you have a route in the system, in the navigation system. Right now it's just showing the digital compass. And then the third one is the driving assist systems. When you press and hold that button, the OK, all it does is give you a shortcut to the settings over here to adjust the different modes that you want. If you want to change the view of this, you go right here to cluster, and then you can adjust the illumination. You can adjust the brightness and all that stuff. But there's even a blue light filter as well. Cluster theme selection. So you have simple, and then which we have now, and then there's classic, which we'll look at now. So that's classic dials, and then simple. There's also, let's go ahead and put it in classic. There's also type A, type B, which is like an eco. This is kind of like a normal mode. That's kind of like an eco mode, and then this is kind of like a sport mode. So you can link it to the drive mode as well. In both simple, you can have different views as well. A, B, and C. So there's the different views that you can have. I like style A, and also like the classic view. That looks pretty good. All right, so there's, like I mentioned, this is like a little camera illuminator thing. So it's intended to watch the driver. Make sure you're paying attention, basically. Okay, so here is the shifter, believe it or not. It's a little stock here. And really handy because it's out of the way. You don't have to have some lever or anything over here. You just turn it. So if I put my foot on the brake and I turn this forward, now we're in drive. If I pull back on it all the way, it's reverse. And then when I push forward gently, it goes into neutral. To put it in park, you simply push this button right here, and it puts it in park. But let's go ahead and put it in reverse, because 2 things will happen. One is the parking sensors, and you can see they go all the way around the vehicle, and they're very, very, very sensitive. So you can tell if there's something around the vehicle. Also here, you can see the camera system. So there's the backup camera, so you can see the view behind the vehicle. It has active guidelines on both views here. You also have different views. So you have a top-down view, the view we just saw, which is more of a wide view. We have the side views, so if you want to see what's going on either side of the vehicle. And then this view right here that fills in the whole screen with the backup camera. But this right here is really handy, having the top-down view as well. Also, if you get close to something, so if you, like right now, if I back up and I get a little close to this vehicle, you can see this line right here appears. There's also an audible tone, but this line appears and it shows me what I need to look out for, where it is that I need to look. It also shows up here as well. So let me go ahead and put it in drive to get away from it, so it won't beep at me no more. You can see that line goes away. So yeah, it has a visual and audible tone when the sensors sense something, and it could be anywhere around the vehicle. It's like a 360 sensing system. It's pretty neat. All right, so let's go ahead and put it in park. All right, so we saw the start button here, and this is the touchscreen. And check out this light here on this dash. This is a customizable light in which you can change the colors. I changed it to purple or a pink or whatever it is. You can also customize a color, but there's a lot of preset colors as well. So this screen system is pretty easy to use. So first of all, it has these large icons for the map, and this is all customizable here. And you have the map, and then you have your radio, and then you continue on phone, voice, weather, all the different options here, including the setup. And then you have these here. So it not only does it have an icon, but it tells you what it is, which is nice. So very easy to just kind of swipe and go into the main features of the system. Now if you swipe from the top, you have some quick controls, things that you can use regularly, and you can see a little cog there which you can customize these. But it's really nice to have the passenger talk quickly access here. You can also turn off the display if you want. If you don't want anything there, just tap the screen to turn it back on. Navigation guidance, you can quickly adjust the volume. So yeah, I really like this, and I can adjust the illumination, all kinds of things here by just swiping down from the top that you can customize, just like you can customize this screen. You can have a voice memo and all that stuff. So yeah, really like this new system. It's not that much different as far as like, it's actually easier, it's better. You have different profiles you can set up as well. So once you set up everything you want to set up, you can save a profile, so that way you don't have somebody else drive the vehicle and mess all your settings up. You can set up a profile and it saves everything. So yeah, really nice. Really like this. And I like the way the clock stays there. Has a calendar, you know, it tells you what day it is and everything. So really nice. All right, so down here we have a volume knob, physical volume knob, tune through the stations. We can seek through the tracks here. We have another customizable button here. We can quickly go into the options using that setup button. We can quickly go into media. We can do a search. We can view the map, and then we can view the home screen here. Let's go ahead and hit the map so we can see what it looks like here. We can also search. We can add, you know, favorites or home, work, that kind of stuff. So yeah, navigation is looking pretty good. And then you have the four-way flashers, climate control, driver, passenger, and then you can go from front to rear and adjust the rear climate as well. Fan speed, where you want the air to blow, front and rear defrosters. You have heated and cooled seats here in the front, and it's a 3-stage, high, medium, and low. Same thing with the cooled, high, medium, and low. It's also color-coded as well. And then down here, these are actually physical buttons. These are soft touch buttons, like a touch screen. These are physical buttons. So you have the auto hold, which will hold the brake for you when you come to a complete stop. Downhill descent, most for off-road use. And then this is to quickly access the camera system. If you press this, just press it like that, it pops up the camera system. If you press and hold it, then it pops up the park assist system. Same button. And then the parking sensors you can turn off if you need to. And then the auto start feature, you can turn that off. The default will be on every time you start the vehicle. So in my case, I just quickly turn that off as soon as I get the vehicle started. And then right here is your drive mode. So it has, and it shows you up here what it is. So there's the normal, sport, and then my drive. My drive is pretty interesting because once you set it up, sometimes it can give you a different experience than any of the normal drive modes. But typically normal works fine in these type of vehicles. I haven't, you know, spent a lot of time in sport mode, but usually normal is already excellent. So usually I don't really have to play around with the drive modes. Okay, so right in here, there is the USB ports. Now these are USB-C ports. So you have to take that into consideration. And then you have the ability to turn the charging, or you have charging and the USB connection with the vehicle. So you can alternate. So sometimes you want to charge your cell phone by plugging it in, but you don't want to connect with the system and all that stuff, start initiating, you know, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, which it does have the wireless system now. But you can have that or not, and it gives this little light, which is pretty cool. And then here is just a regular charger. So this button here, right here, turns on an UV light system, which is intended to sterilize an object. So you can, like say your cell phone, if you want to sterilize the germs on the outside of the cell phone, you can place it in here, in this compartment, then press this button, and then after like 10 minutes or so, it'll technically, you know, on the surface, whatever the UV light is able to shine on will kill the germs basically on the exterior of the object. Without using heat or anything like that, it's just a UV light. Similar to, you know, bright sunlight, that kind of thing. So it has two very convenient wireless charge pads here. So very easy to get in the vehicle. You have a designated place for the driver and the passenger to put their phone down, and it's going to charge their phone, and you have the ability to do that. So you have a little indicator light there when it's charging, and it's kind of raised in the center, so that way you have good contact there in the center. Really nice. And it has a little place for wires to go this way. So let's say you have to plug in for whatever reason your cell phone, it does have a little bit of extra space there for the wire to extend out. And you have the cup holders, have little articulating spring-loaded arms to keep the bottles or whatever from wobbling around too much. And it also has a rubber mat there at the bottom that's removable, and you can clean it, put it back in. And you can utilize this as other things besides cups. So that's kind of flat. Having that flat like that is pretty handy. Okay, so there is the armrest. And remember, we were able to lift this up and access this part, but we can also, this is kind of like rubbery soft, and it looks really nice. Feels good too. But we can also lift it up here, and it basically, when it's down like this, it'll plop back down. But if you lift it up like that, it stays pretty much wherever you let go. So that's really good. And it lifts up all the way here. And then there's a light in there, which is nice. Little place right here to put something if you want. But also there's this tray here. And you can take the tray out and have quick access, like a little basket. It's pretty neat. But what's even more neat is that it has this deeper compartment, kind of like a secret compartment in here. And it has this little divider, and up in here is like, goes way up in here. So you can put some really cool stuff in there. And it's completely out of sight, and you can have this compartment kind of hidden, especially when you put this tray over top of it. So you can put your valuables in there or whatever, and then you have this for quick access type stuff. It's a pretty interesting design there. And of course we have that compartment there as well. Okay, so it's an auto dim rearview mirror, has the HomeLink garage door opener controls here on the bottom of it. There's also lights. These are soft touch buttons. So there's the reading lights here, turn on all the interior lights, have them turn on with the door, or this is the off button. So if you don't want that to happen, you can turn it off. So like you have a baby sleeping or whatever, you don't want the interior lights turned on, you can do that. So this is for the front glass, this is for the rear glass, this is just for the shade. We'll get to those in a minute for the sunroof. There's also roadside assistance as well. And check out the headliner, it's pretty cool looking. Kind of like a cloth brown. And it has the large mirror, a little light, which you turn on. And if you accidentally leave it on, when you go like this, it turns it off. Pretty cool. This also extends out as well. Basically the same thing there on the passenger side. All right, so looking at these, the glass. So you can see the glass back there is open. So let's use this button right here. So there's the rear. Let's go ahead and close the shade. And the shade covers 100% of the light. So if you don't want any light coming in, this is really nice to have 100% of the light blocked. Same thing with the front. It has a manual shade, but it blocks 100% of the light. So let's go ahead and tilt the front one. So we can use the front button, tilt it up, tilt it down, and then we can slide it back if we want. Press it again. All right, that's as far back as it goes. And once again, we can close the shade if we want to. Looking at the visibility there in the back, now I have some seats down, some seats up, so you can see how the headrests interfere with the visibility a little bit. We do have some pillars that are quite wide back there, but overall, I mean, considering all the glass windows that you have and the technology, blind spot detection system, rear cross traffic alert, full surround camera system, parking sensors, all that stuff, help you with driving the vehicle safely. It's not really a big deal, but the visibility is, I would say, adequate. I mean, just kind of looking over my shoulders and everything, it looks fine. I don't see any major issues. Thank you for watching. Thank you to Parkway Hyundai here in Wilmington, North Carolina. I'll have their contact information in the description, and I'll see you guys next time.